A young man once asked an old warrior, "How do some people stay calm, even when life is destroying them?" The old warrior smiled gently and replied, "Because they understand one secret most people never learn." He pointed to a boiling pot of water over a fire. When the water boils, whatever is inside it becomes soft. He dropped two things into the pot, a potato and an egg. Minutes later, he removed both. The potato had become weak. The egg had become strong inside. The same heat changed them differently, the warrior said quietly. Life does not break people because of pressure. Life reveals who they truly are. And that young man never forgot those words, because years later, he would face the hardest moment of his life. His name was Daniel. Daniel grew up in a poor neighborhood where anger ruled everything. People shouted before they listened. They fought before they thought. Every disagreement became war. And because Daniel grew up around rage, he slowly became angry too. At school, he fought constantly. At home, he argued with his mother. On the streets, he reacted to every insult. He believed reacting emotionally made him strong. But in reality, it was quietly destroying his life. One afternoon, when Daniel was 19 years old, he lost his temper at a small electronics shop where he worked. A customer accused him of overcharging. Daniel exploded immediately. "You think I'm a thief?" he shouted. The customer shouted back. Within minutes, they were screaming at each other in front of everyone. The manager walked out from the back room, furious. And before Daniel could explain anything, he was fired. Just like that. One moment of emotion destroyed the only stable income he had. That night, Daniel walked home in silence. For the first time in his life, he began wondering if anger was actually weakness. Days passed. No job. No money. No direction. One evening, while sitting outside a small roadside restaurant, an old man sat beside him. The old man looked calm. Almost too calm. Like someone who had seen every storm life could create. "You look heavy," the old man said. Daniel laughed bitterly. "Life is hard." The old man nodded. "Yes, but your emotions are making it harder." Daniel looked surprised. "How do you know?" The old man smiled. "Because angry people always think life is attacking them." That sentence hit Daniel deeply. The old man introduced himself as Mr. Kareem. Every evening after that, Daniel returned to that same roadside restaurant. And every evening, Mr. Kareem taught him lessons about emotional control. One night, Mr. Kareem placed a cup of muddy water on the table. "This is your mind when you react emotionally." Then he stopped touching it. Minutes later, the dirt settled naturally. The water became clear. "You do not fix muddy water by fighting it," he said softly. "You fix it by allowing it to become still." Daniel listened carefully. For the first time in years, he began observing himself. He noticed how quickly he reacted, how small words controlled his emotions, how strangers could ruin his entire day, how anger made him lose control over his own mind. Weeks later, Daniel got another job. This time, he promised himself something important. No matter what happened, he would remain calm. At first, it was difficult, very difficult. Customers insulted him. Co-workers mocked him. One man even threw money in his face. The old Daniel would have exploded immediately. But this time, Daniel stayed silent. And strangely, something powerful happened. He began seeing situations more clearly, because emotion was no longer blinding him. One afternoon, his manager called him into the office. "There's a customer who only trusts you now," the manager said. "He says you're the only employee who treats people respectfully." Daniel was shocked. For years, he thought power came from aggression. But now he realized calmness created trust, and trust created opportunities. Months passed. Daniel improved quickly. One day, a wealthy businessman entered the store furious because his expensive laptop order had been delayed. The staff panicked. Nobody wanted to handle him. But Daniel stepped forward calmly. The businessman insulted him repeatedly. Yet Daniel never reacted emotionally. Instead, he listened carefully, spoke respectfully, and solved the problem peacefully. When the businessman finally calmed down, he stared at Daniel for several seconds. "Young man," he said quietly, "most people lose control under pressure. You became calmer." Then he handed Daniel a business card. "Come see me tomorrow." That meeting changed Daniel's life forever. The businessman owned a growing technology company, and he offered Daniel a better job immediately. Not because Daniel was the smartest person, not because he was the most educated, but because emotional control is rare, very rare. As years passed, Daniel became more successful, but life still tested him constantly. One day, his business partner betrayed him and stole money from the company. Daniel felt rage burning inside him. Old emotions returned instantly. He wanted revenge. He wanted destruction. But then, he remembered the muddy water. He stayed silent for 3 days before making any decision. And during those 3 days, he discovered evidence that exposed the betrayal legally. Instead of destroying himself emotionally, he solved the situation intelligently. That was the moment Daniel fully understood something important. Emotional people react. Powerful people respond. And there is a huge difference between reacting and responding. Years later, Daniel became wealthy. But more importantly, he became peaceful. One afternoon, a young boy approached him after a public speech and asked, "How do I stop people from controlling my emotions?" Daniel smiled. Then he told the boy something he wished someone had told him years earlier. When someone controls your emotions, they control you. The boy stayed quiet. Daniel continued, "If small insults can destroy your peace, then your peace is weak. If anger controls your actions, then anger owns your future. True strength is not shouting louder. True strength is remaining calm when chaos surrounds you." The room became silent. Then Daniel shared the greatest lesson he had ever learned. He said, "Every situation in life gives you 2 choices. You can react emotionally and lose control, or you can remain calm and gain power. Most people fail because they allow temporary emotions to make permanent decisions. Never let a temporary emotion destroy a permanent opportunity." That sentence changed many lives that day. Because the truth is, emotional control is a superpower. When you control your emotions, you think more clearly. You make better decisions. You avoid unnecessary conflicts. You become difficult to manipulate. You attract respect naturally. People may win arguments with emotion, but calm people often win life. And perhaps the most dangerous person in any room is the person who remains calm while everyone else loses control. Because calmness is not weakness. It is mastery. So the next time life tests you, pause before reacting. Breathe before speaking. Think before deciding. Because one emotional moment can destroy years of progress. But one calm decision can change your entire future. And remember this forever. Anybody can control themselves when life is easy. But the people who master their emotions during difficult moments become unstoppable.